don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
All right. Hey, beautiful. Hey, how the heck are ya? Yeah, what's the deal and how you feeling? My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator and a free speech and critical thinking advocate. I hope you're alive. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. This is the Pick Your Battles show. You know, it's been a long road getting from there to here, but the path is finally clear. Let's see, the Veg in the Woods already with a donation. Thank you so much for supporting us, independent media. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. That was from Star Trek. Hey, I tried searching for your book the other day. I couldn't find where to purchase. Both of my books are out of print at the moment. I have another one in the works. It was supposed to be released on March 31st, but little things happened. I'm finally getting my mojo back, and my book should be out hopefully by the end of April. I'm hoping to bring it out by the end of April, my newest book. My other two books are out of print. The publisher went out of business. There are still copies of them out there. People sell them used every once in a while. You do see them from time to time. It's just rare. You don't see them very often. It is rare that we see them, but that's the world I live in. You know, it kind of sucks. But what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What is this? Why is there something at the top of my screen? It's fucking ScreenYard, always changing stupid shit. I'm absolutely against adulterous adults who make war with children. Yeah, me too. I'm glad. I'm against that too. Dang, I gotta start showing up on time. Donnie, Vegan Seed. I'm terribly sorry. I was fixing the stream for the other show. I have another show. The gaming show later is going to be really intense, and I hope that you like it. You know, I hope that you think it's cool. I hope you think it's real cool. I hope you do anyway. You'd be called a book N-word. Well, I don't know about that, but I have the masculine urge to learn new things. The masculine urge to learn. I'm reading a book right now. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. I'm reading a book right now. I gotta get this off the screen. Everything in my interface is a little bit jacked at the moment, and I mean not skyjacked in a good way. I'm reading this book at the moment. It's got a green screen on it, so you can't see, but it says Beheading Game right here. It's called The Beheading Game. It's about Anne Boleyn. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I thought I was going to hate it, and I actually quite like it. The Beheading Game by Rebecca Lehman. It's sort of about Anne Boleyn getting her head chopped off and then waking up in the arrow case that they transported her in, escaping, holding her head, and then sewing it back on, and then trying to seek revenge against Henry VIII by killing him. That's sort of what it's about. Kind of. That's the premise of it anyway. I hope you think that's cool. I think it's cool. You could call in anytime you want. It's a call-in show. It's called PYB. PYB, Pretty Young Battles. I'm just joking. Pick Your Battles. That's the name of the show. You could call in anytime and pick your battles. It's a fun show. You can call in at morningsky.live/PYB. Today I figured we're only going to do, it's pretty cool. Veg in the Woods. I'm gonna finish it on I have to finish it before May 5th, I think. The first Friday in May is the deadline for me to read it. I have a book club I'm going to. So if you want to talk about it, it'd be fun to talk about. It's fun. It's fun. I think you might like it. I think you might like it. You never know. You might not. You might not. You might like it. You might love it. You might love this thing that we call fun and games. I don't know why my streaming software is acting really ridiculous right now, and it's annoying me. I'm sorry for the flaws and starts here. Here we go. Let's do that one. I like this one. This is a perfect. I usually use this one. All right, I like this one. Okay, thank you, Veg in the Woods, for that. I'm thinking about getting. I really want to play that Pragmata. It's a new game. I want to play that later on. I'm thinking about playing it tonight. I'm just thinking about downloading it and playing it. I really want to play that game, Pragmata. What do you guys think? I'm obsessed. I've always loved the moon. I've always thought the moon was really cool. People going to the moon. I love the moon at night. I love the moon in your eye like a big pizza pie. I like the moon. I like it a lot. And there's a game right now about being on the moon and helping a little kid and solve crimes or something. I'm not sure. You like the look? You like the look of it? You like the look of the of Pragmata? I'm thinking about playing it because the reason why, like, there's a game called Crimson Desert that I really want to play, but everyone's playing it for like 500 hours, and it's like, man, that's a stream. That's a stream and a half. What do you mean you like the look? What do you like the look of? Anyway, this is the. I wanted to show something Stevie Boy sent me, actually. Steve sent me this thing that I thought was really interesting. Crimson Desert is a massive waste of time. Is that what just got put into my algorithm right now? I think that might be a good thing. I don't know. People are talking about this game like it's the greatest game ever made. It's one of those games. I kind of want to play it, but actually I really want to play it, but I keep on thinking about Pragmata as like the game that I want to start playing before I get into that one. But I really wanted to play this for you. Skip Crimson. It's too much for now. The game looks fine. Why is it too much for now, you think? Why do you think it's too much? I'd love to know what your thoughts. You look like Elon Musk if he were not autistic. I look like Elon Musk if he didn't have... Like, Elon Musk had so much gender-affirming care. I think Elon Musk saw a picture of me someplace and is like, that's the man I want to look like. I think that he... Because if you look what he looked like before with his weak chin and his jawline is entirely different, his hair, he has no hair, and his teeth are really far apart and like his teeth are like little nubs, and he has a really small penis because he had to get a penis implant. I think he saw me, and he's like, I want to look like that guy. I'm Dark Mega. I want to look like Skyjack Morgan. I think that's why. I think that's what happened there. Crimson is lovely, but it's not going anywhere. Yeah, I guess like I have a little bit of fear that I'm not going to be on the cutting edge. Like I think since Pragmata is new, a lot of people will be searching for it, and maybe people will want to watch it, watch me play it, want to see what it's like. And Crimson is such a huge game. I'm a beginner gamer. I don't know if I can handle. I'm kind of intimidated by Crimson, actually. I see this guy, Big Sherpa, playing it. He's playing it right now. He streams it live every day. He's like 250 hours in, and he's still figuring shit out. And he played 500 hours of Elden Ring. He's done all these crazy things. I haven't played Elden Ring. I don't know how to do all that shit. I just don't know how to play all that stuff. So I'm thinking about maybe playing that game, Pragmata. It's new. It's about the moon. It's got like a little thing with like a father and daughter thing where the daughter's an android or something. And all that stuff. It's sci-fi. I like sci-fi shit. I like the fantasy, the knights and stuff too. But I don't know. I'm kind of drawn to it, you know. You quit at 170 hours. You quit. It's just too much. Skip it. All right, I'm taking your advice. I'll take your advice. It just seems like I'm intimidated by it. I'm not gonna lie. I know that might sound beta to some people, but there's certain games that's just like, fuck. That just seems like a lot. It just seems like too much. But I would love to play it. It looks so incredible. Like they got dragons, but even that guy, Big Sherpa. He's been playing for 250 hours. He still has not seen the dragon. He hasn't seen the dragon yet. They sold us their fantasy that they wanted to come true. Yeah. They sold us the fantasy they wanted to come true. Yeah. All right. So we have these things. I wanted to look at a quick video that Steve sent me. I thought it was pretty cool. I just want to check it out very quickly. It's a video of this. Made my life miserable. Minnesota whistleblower drops bombshell. Drops the bombshell. Let's see. Man, I am really hating this fucking upgrade from, I think Google Chrome or somebody just upgraded. Just did an update, and I hate it. There's some kind of messed up thing for my streaming. But whatever, I'll have to get used to it, I guess. Ugh, I don't like it. But here we go. I wanted to play this really quickly.
Democrat. I've only voted Democrat. So about 7 years ago, I noticed risky contracts that I was seeing. People who speak about fraud at state agencies, the first thing that leadership goes to is racism.
I want to see what you think of this.
It is humiliating. It is career killing. In 2019, there was a poster put up at the agency, and it had 3 names on it. I was working with those three people. Made my life about as miserable. Okay, let me just talk about those 3 names.
Go ahead and state your name for the record and.
That was the teaser. No one's joined the live yet, but you could join at morningsky.live/PYB.
Ms. Faye Bernstein, Chair Niska, members, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm one of those whistleblowers, and I am a current state employee.
It's not about race. This is not about race.
And I'm also a Democrat. I've only voted Democrat. And that's why I think this is a really sad day for me. I consider myself a very loyal person. I have worked at the state agency I'm at for 20 years. I believe I've had 3 jobs since I graduated from.
Everyone seems to getting really uptight. This is not really about race. She's going to tell you about what her experience was as a whistleblower.
College. I've lived on the same block.
Like, here's the thing, man. Like, whistleblowers. I've been a whistleblower. I've pointed out. I've had people break the law. Like, I had a boss break the law. I don't have time to. I don't want to tell that story right now. I'll tell it some other time. I've told it before, but I've had to turn in people to other bosses because they were doing shady shit. It sucks being a whistleblower. It really, really sucks, and it makes you not want to do it. And I think that this lady, she talks about her experience in Minnesota, turning in people who were committing fraud. And I think that her experience is in the fact that she's talking about her own experience and that she's doing it in a way that's pretty young. Hey, did you just add yourself? You motherfucker. Crisp, are you there? Chip, hello?
Hello. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to add myself. No. I just meant to enter the stream. I thought you're doing this pick your battles thing. Sorry.
It is. I am doing the pick your battles thing. I just want to. I'm just watching this one thing very quickly. Is that okay? Can you hold on for like 2 minutes? Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
For 20 years.
You're still on, by the way.
I'm kind of a ride or die person. But I want you to know my experience. And what happened to me was 7 years ago, I was what I would consider at the top of my game. I was in one of those rare times in life where you really enjoy going to work, and you know that you are doing a very good job, and life was really, really good. And everything I'm going to say.
Man, God, that's like, have you ever had that experience where you're good at your job and you feel good and you're looking good? Everything's coming up, Skyjack. You ever have one of those? You ever have that job where everything's feeling good? We'll get to Chip. I know everyone wants to hear from Chip. Chip will be here in just a second. This thing's only a few minutes.
Now, I don't in any way mean to reference my coworkers, my peers. Your average state employee is very, very good. Very good. I'm not unique in any way. I'm not uniquely smarter than anyone else or uniquely able to notice fraud any more than anyone else. I'm just a regular state employee. All of my comments and my concerns are really about the leadership and those that have appointed that leadership. So about 7 years ago, I noticed risky contracts that I was seeing. I had a promotion, and I, for the first time, was seeing many contracts, more than just my own. Everything was sort of funneling through me. And
everything was great. Everything was hunky-dory until I got that promotion. My life was good. I was walking to work with a smile on my face, and then they said, you know what? You're really good at your job. You want a promotion? Yeah, I do want a promotion. And then everything went to hell.
My work area. And so I started going up the ladder for the next 6 months, as a person would do, and talking to my supervisor, then their supervisor, and up and up. And so what I found was that I was really kind of getting nowhere. So after that first thing of noticing these things and realizing I was getting nowhere, I then realized.
You think that she's not legit? I think she just looks nervous. But wait till see what she says.
We had incredibly unqualified leadership. Not only did people not really know the solution to what I was bringing, but they really didn't even understand what I was saying. And that didn't make a lot of sense to me, because looking at their salary and their job title, this is something they should have clearly understood and said thank you and proceeded to solve it. And that isn't what happened at all. What actually happened is the messenger gets shot. I became a very unpopular person amongst leadership there. And the retaliation and the smear campaign is strong. I was called everything from incompetent to, a favorite is racist. You people who speak about fraud at state agencies, the first thing that leadership goes to is racism. And that is very hard to take. It is humiliating. It is career killing. Obviously, who is going to hire someone who is considered racist? So at some point in that period of time in 2019, there was a poster put up at the agency, and it had 3 names on it. It was one of those posters that was sort of that, if you see something, say something kind of thing. And there's 3 names on the poster that we were to contact if we had concerns about fraud, waste, or abuse. And so I was working with those three people. And over the next year, those 3 people really made my life about as miserable as it could be. That was a period where my son was young. He's a teenager now. He's with me. But he was young at that time. And I used to sit on the front step of my house and cry because I didn't want him to see me cry. Because you don't want a young kid to see that. And those 3 names. Okay, let me just talk about those 3 names. One is our ethics officer in the agency I work at. She called me to tell me that if I spoke in front of the legislative committee, that I would like to be fired. So that's our ethics officer. Then our, at that time, chief compliance officer, now our commissioner, she had me involuntarily transferred to a different position to get me out of where I was. She called me on a Saturday along with our HR representative and told me that when I returned to work the next week that I had a new job. And I said, do I have any choice? And the answer was no, it's this or nothing. And the third person on that list, who was our director of auditing, so he's an auditor, he completely outed me. I reported fraud to him, and what he did is call up the person I was reporting on and said, Faye Bernstein just told me da-da-da-da about you, just completely.
That's exactly what they do. Don't call that fucking number. I'm telling you, never call 1-800-SNITCH. Don't do it. This is what'll happen to you.
Me, which, as you can imagine, led to more of me crying on my front step.
I'm sorry, Ms. Bernstein. I'm sorry this happened to you, and thank you for sharing your story. I hope we pass this resolution so you
Listen to this motherfucker. Listen to what this guy says.
can provide further information, you and other whistleblowers. So thank you.
And I'm sorry, I've just said a few times I've never cried, but I guess I've never thought about myself sitting on that front step. And that just really kind of got me.
If you could wrap up your testimony.
Thank you.
Yeah, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. We don't have time for your tears. Wrap it up.
This did not end. It continues. I speak to individuals from other agencies. As recent as last Monday, 3 days ago, I spoke to individuals from another agency, and this is precisely what is going on. The retaliation continues, the fraud continues, and there is no accountability. There is absolutely no accountability. And what that makes me repeatedly think of is the cartoon with the dead horse on the table, and everyone is walking around thinking, should we get a new saddle? Should we give the horse a new name? Should we train the rider better? And of course, that's not going to solve it. I don't have any sage wisdom. I'm, like I said, an average state employee. But I grew up on a farm, and I know a dead horse when I see it.
There you go. I know a dead horse when I see it. I know a dead horse when I see it. Do you know a dead horse when you see it? Because that's kind of the thing, isn't it? What do you think? Maybe we should just burn it all down. What, should we rename it? Should we change the party? Should we burn it all down? I think we just bury the horse. How about that? Chip, you're on the air.
I'm trying to understand. Was this woman? What was she? Because I joined in the middle of it. Like, was this woman? Like, it sounds horrible to cry on the stairs and that. So I kind of. I
She's
feel
crying on her
sorry
front
for her.
porch because she doesn't want her kid knowing. Ding Dang Do is also in the chat. Let's bring him on. Let's see. Ding Dang Do, I hope that you can I hope you can control your temper, my friend. All right. So what it was about, you're on the air. What it was about is all the fraud stuff in Minnesota, right? There's a lot of money that was taken, especially during COVID, but even after that, there was it was a big scam, and a lot of people made off with a lot of money. Like it happened in a lot of states, but this has caught the American imagination because most of them seem to be Somali. I think it was, I looked it up once. It was like 50 to 60% of the people who were involved in this massive fraud were Somali. Not exclusively. People are trying to frame it as if it's just like Somali pirates are taking over or something. But most of them were. So it's fair to call it a Somali fraud case. And this was one of the whistleblowers. When she reported it, she was called a racist because who was she reporting? Of course, Somalis. And she was called a racist. Now, I have to say, this is not exclusive. In Las Vegas, I saw a whistleblower once get called a racist because he was turning on a Mexican person. I one time turned in a Mexican person for sexual harassment, and I was called a racist. And it was quickly dismissed. But if you wear that for long, if people think you're a racist for a long time, you could she's right. You might not get employment. Wasteland Games is on the line. You're in this chat now. We have 3 in the chat. I think this qualifies as a panel discussion now, guys.
Sure.
So I guess, Chip, what was your first impression?
I mean, I'm trying to understand why she was crying on the stairs. So she's a whistleblower that she understood some corruption. Was she crying because people were calling her a racist?
She was crying because she felt helpless and bullied and sidelined and outed and all of those things. She was going to lose her job and be transferred to another job. She felt helpless and targeted, and she was. I think that's pretty obvious now that she was targeted.
That's rough, huh?
Yeah, it's rough. That's the life of a whistleblower. That's what happens to whistleblowers. That's what Look what happens to people who call out what happens on animal production facilities. You know?
Yeah.
You're attacking the good working families of America by taking pictures of our cows that we beat.
I would just like to say that this is what Chip said that we should take. This is some portion of it. Remember this. So.
Yeah. Say it again. Sorry. It was a little quiet. You're gonna have to speak up. Your mic, your sound is good, but you got to speak up a little bit.
I just would like to say that this is a portion of what Chip says that we should have to endure to maintain multiculturalism. So.
Okay.
Wait, what? Hey, this is what we have to endure to maintain multiculturalism. What do you mean by that?
I think it's a weird statement because I don't think we need to. What are we enduring? Because whistleblowers get no matter what you take away multiculturalism, whistleblowers still get demonized. No matter what happens, the people who turned in Nixon were called traitors and treasonists. Anytime someone calls, look at Snowden. Snowden, that's
Chelsea Manning.
Chelsea Manning's a great example. Chelsea Manning.
By the way.
What's that?
Wait.
Said she's a friend of mine, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand this. The implication that multicultural, if we have a society that's full of multiple cultures, somehow that will lead to some people being called racists without any foundation for them being racist. Yeah, that's a possibility, but does that mean that we should abolish multiple cultures? No, it means we should accept that it will happen, right?
It is scary, I will say. The same thing happens when you. It happens a lot with. This is why women get a bad rap in the business place as well, because if a woman asks for a promotion and she doesn't get it, for example, you can be labeled a sexual harasser or a sexist pretty quickly. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. Is it because I'm a woman? And the same thing happens, like, oh, you're turning in that person. Is it because he's black? Is it because he's Somali?
For women, it's like the cases that were actually sexual harassments were 95% of the declared ones. So that's a pretty high percentage. That means only some false cases were 5% of them, which is
Hold
okay.
on, that is not what the data shows. 95% of FBI, when the FBI researched 95% of crimes like women reporting an actual crime, 95% of those were legit. I think it was over 95% were legit. But that's not sexual harassment, dude. That's what you're talking about is you're talking about the FBI data of women coming forward and saying I was raped or I was sexually assaulted. That's not what I'm saying.
What's the difference?
Sexual assault's way different than sexual harassment or sexism in the workplace.
Oh, okay, but so are you implying that somehow some women may call that without, like, unfoundly?
No, these are two different things.
I've seen it many times that women in workplaces, when they don't get a position that they wanted, or they don't get that, they say it's because I'm a woman, or it's because.
I've seen men do that. I've seen men say the same thing.
Of course, so have I. But I have never seen a man turn in a woman saying that he was sexually harassed because that boss didn't give him a job.
I've never heard of that happening, but okay.
I've seen it happen many times where a guy didn't, a manager couldn't. I mean, shit. It happened to me when a hostess. She wasn't old enough to serve. She couldn't serve, but she wanted to be a server, and I said no. And 2 weeks later, she said that I grabbed her ass. Thank God we were all on camera. Thank God for cameras. Thank God for the surveillance state of Las Vegas, where there's like a camera everywhere. But I've seen it happen multiple times where women say that a man was untoward because she didn't get a position. And I think this is a similar case where, you're assuming you're calling someone a fraudster. Oh, is it because he's black? Is it because he's black?
So I look now and I found this study. It's not a lot of cases. It's 136 cases of sexual assault over a 10-year period. And
I'm not talking about
only
sexual assault.
8 were false allegations. So that's 6%, and
that is not germane to the conversation. I'm not talking about assault. I'm not talking about. That's not what we're even talking about.
Assault?
That was upstate Nate saying.
No, I said sexual harassment or or sexism. Nothing to do with assault.
Yeah, but it's difficult to prove sexism, right? Like.
That's my point. Is it difficult to prove racism?
Yeah, it is also. Yeah.
And so it's easy when you don't get something, or you've been accused. You say, "Oh, it's because I'm black that she's accusing me of being a fraudster." But it turns out these guys were fraudsters.
No. I mean, I get what you mean, right? Like, obviously, you shouldn't, yell wolf without having any good data behind it. But I don't think we can dismiss all cases that way, right? Like, we shouldn't form a conclusion by saying, oh, well, they said it's a sexist. Oh, everyone just says it's a sexist, right? Like I still think in any situation, an investigation should still be done. I don't think fingers should be pointed without an investigation, though.
Should the whistleblower be investigated as a racist because they're bringing forth a fraud case?
Yeah, if they were racist, yeah, they should be investigated if there are allegations that they might be racist. Why not?
Because it's the superior who's being the Dude, it's like saying... It's almost like it's like Donald Trump. If someone comes forward and says Donald Trump raped me, and he's like, well, it's because I'm famous. That's why she's saying that.
Yeah, so why would it... So, again, like, why shouldn't... When we have allegations of misconduct... Why shouldn't we investigate the allegations of misconduct?
Because the allegation is a defense mechanism to take away the focus from the culprit.
But the investigation doesn't have to be done by the same committee, right? Like, it can be done by a different committee.
You're doing two investigations now, and one is fraud. If I came and said, "Hey, you're a fraudster," and you said, "Oh, it's just because you hate Romanian people," you're saying that. Who should be investigated?
I mean, what do you mean by that? Like,
if you and I work together,
there are people who generally have a problem with me being a Romanian.
I know. If you and I work together, and you were stealing money, or I thought you were stealing money,
yeah,
and I said, hey, here's a spreadsheet, Chip's stealing money from the company,
yeah,
and then you said, no, Sky just doesn't like Romanians.
Yeah, both situations should be investigated. Yes.
No. This is an accusation. This is more like a cultural thing. This is like a pre-accusation. This isn't something official. This is just like the attitude in the room.
Yeah, but she got labeled as one. Her whole thing is that she got labeled as a racist, and she was afraid she wouldn't be able to ever get another job again because she.
Right, that was the attitude.
Do we know if she was actually? Do we know if she was actually saying, actually saying racist shit?
She never. There's no accusation. There's no accusation that she is. The right now she is one of the whistleblowers that turned in the fraud cases that have now been substantiated. But while she was turning them in, the whole crew, like the whole sick boss crew over in Minnesota, called her a racist and transferred her and basically sidelined her. They eliminated her.
Yeah, but Sky, you can also understand how it is possible that even when somebody does a great job and is an amazing person in all regards, that they can still be a form of abuser in any other regards, right? Like maybe they're a racist, maybe they're a sexist. Like it's not unheard of that people who have done amazing things for communities, some of them have also been racist.
She's not doing
sexist.
something tremendous for the community. She's a standard, just a regular state bureaucrat. That's all she is. She's just a button.
But I mean, like even in a situation when it's somebody who has a lot of reasons to believe that why would this person be a sexist? Why would this person, like, they haven't ever given me any sign of that they can be. Even a person like that, we've seen situations when even people who are so clean, who have such a clean record, can still show signs of sexism or racism, right? So I think investigations, like if it's in a situation where there's some official thing involved, I don't think an investigation would be detrimental to anyone. It would just mean somebody else more gets paid. Yeah,
Hold on a second. We got a donation. Veg in the Woods, thank you so much for contributing. 1891 Franklin strike. They used scabs to incite racial divide. That's true. That's totally true. They do. Of course they did. They tried to break up the union, and there's the union. All the unions in America, especially the old ones, they got a bunch of racist history because of stuff like that. That's exactly right. You're absolutely right. But listen, man, if I think about what you're saying, okay, Chip, what you're saying is extremely dangerous. If I go turn in my boss for stealing from the American people, right? She's stealing from the taxpayer. If I turn my boss in for stealing, I'm the one who gets investigated.
No, both. Sky, so
why
your
should
boss gets in. So Sky,
what
Sky,
does racism? Why does racism even enter the equation?
So Sky, your boss, I'm assuming your boss is a different race or a different sex.
Sure, or that's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it doesn't matter. I shouldn't be investigated for anything. I should not be investigated for anything for turning in a villain.
No.
If she claims there's racism. Racism.
So you should be. Your boss should be investigated for whatever claim you're making, and if your boss makes a compelling case, you should be investigated also for that, right? Like it's not. It shouldn't be obviously just yelling.
Who should get investigated
but there should
first?
Be some form of
who should get investigated first? We only have enough to do. We say we're going to do both. That's fine. Who goes first? Who gets it? Who gets the thumb screws first? Because let me tell you, when you're suspended for investigation,
you're the ones, right? The first come, first serve.
I get investigated because I turned in.
No, first your claim should be investigated first.
Okay, well, in this case, her claim, she got fucking railroaded. They put the screws to her nails, and she got suspended and transferred, and the other guy never got investigated.
Well, that's unfair.
Until more and more whistleblowers came out.
Sure, that's unfair, obviously, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't investigate on the other side also, right?
And you know why? You know why he wasn't investigated?
He wasn't even investigated? Okay.
Not until later. Not until later.
I don't know, because he's rich or something? Because he has power? Is that it?
He has power, and he claimed the race card.
Oh, God. Yeah, isn't that also why OJ got away with it? Because of the race card? Yeah.
I mean, OJ wasn't a public official. OJ was one of the most famous people on OJ was one of the most famous people in America. I mean, there's a lot going on with OJ. Race played a part, but also Furman, the cops were on tape dropping the N-word and saying all these things about how the cops turned out all to be racist, and they were all on tape being racist. It's a big... don't even get me started with OJ. I mean, a murderer went free because all the cops who arrested him were on tape dropping the N-word, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm just like, Sky, the problem that I see is that women do get sexually harassed a lot, like almost, like in certain places, almost on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So it's only normal to assume, depending on the place where you are, that if the rate of sexual harassment is high, right? Like if like, for example, I can tell you that in Bucharest, every woman friend of mine would tell me that they get harassed at least once a week. So if that happens, I think you can safely assume that there is a possibility that they get sexually harassed also at work. Why not? So it's a serious thing, right?
I can't believe that you're defending this. It's actually shocking to me. Like, think about women who
I don't know what you think I'm defending. I'm defending the right of sexual harassers to be investigated.
Because that's not what you're defending. She was racist jacketed by the perpetrator, by the perp.
But I told you that's unfair. I'm claiming that, again, the investigation should happen on both sides, and the first one who was started should be the one, right? First come, first served. That just makes sense.
Except the power dynamic is skewed. Consider, for example, Wayne Shung is the director of DXC, or was, and people like Rachel Ziegler came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct. She was railroaded, called a liar, called a snitch, called a traitor, and she was all over. Now she's persona non grata in the movement, all because she came forward. And the person in power is still the golden boy. Everyone still likes him. Everyone loves him. And the same thing happens. If the powerful can get away, people like Donald Trump, she just hates me because I'm rich, that's why, because I'm famous, that's why. She just hates me because I'm famous. It's the same thing. And then they get away with it. They get away with it.
But that's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. I don't understand how are we miscommunicating so badly. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying.
Because you should not be investigated for bringing a fraud. If it came out that she was lying about fraud, if they investigated the fraud and then it came out she was lying, by all means, find out why she was lying. In fact, she has committed fraud. If she's lying about the fraudster, then she has committed fraud. So it's clear. So it can both situations be true at the same time, that you turn in somebody for fraud because you don't like their race, or like, can it be possible that you do both? Like, can the possible victim, can the person who you trade in still indeed be guilty of what you're trading them in, and you also be doing it as some form of discrimination? I suppose both can be true, but who cares about the second one if homeboy's stealing $9 billion or something stupid? It's an amazing amount of money they were stealing. And
no,
you're like,
I agree with you. Like,
true, sure.
Obviously, like, first of all, I think both can be true, and they need to be taken with a grain of salt, right? Like, we shouldn't be as stupid as to assume that when somebody gets an allegation that, hey, this person is a corrupt person, and you're like, yeah, well, you're a racist or something, you just did it as a racist. I don't think we should just be like, oh, you're right, we should investigate this person for racism. Like, there should be more. Like, obviously we can easily infer that this person may just be trying to play the race card or the sex card, but it shouldn't be like, it should be at least like a line somewhere written, right?
Okay,
that this person said that.
Let me just play devil's advocate, because I want to play the other side. So right now, Right now, the status quo is if you turn in your boss, you are a whistleblower, you will be ground to nothing. They will destroy your life. You will be snitch jacketed, traitor jacketed, racist jacketed, sexist jacketed. Your life as you know it is over because you alerted the people who you were told to alert about malfeasance. That's the status quo right now. And the reason why, as Steve was saying, that's just the price of multiculturalism. What do you say to that? It seems like that might, listening to you right now, it seems like that's the price of multiculturalism. We just have to suck it up.
No, this just seems like a all or nothing type of situation, which I don't think that's a good way to approach society, right? We either have one or the other. No, what I'm suggesting is that why not have both? And again, I don't mean necessarily actually start an investigation on whether that person is a racist or a sexist, but rather, write it down somewhere and ask other people if there have been other allegations or certain, like a minor type of investigation, right? Like you don't have to put in all your efforts into that one, but something, right? It needs to be taken into consideration is what I'm saying, I guess, more than anything, right? Like it's like I understand that. The reason why I say that, Sky, is because injustice is injustice regardless of who's doing the injustice, right?
But you seem okay. But you seem okay with an automatic witch hunt just for turning somebody in. Because
that's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying.
But we've gotten this far because it's so easy to label anybody for anything, and.
No, Sky, we've gotten this far because the situation of sexual harassment and the situation of not just sexual harassment, but racism, sexism and racism are so prevalent in our society that, of course, when somebody says that they're a racist or they're a sexist, there is a big possibility that they might be. Right? Like that's why we've gotten so far in this situation. It's not because of like to blame the idea that no, the problem is the fact that we are saying it. No, the problem is the fact that like isn't this against the whole whistleblowing situation that oh no, we shouldn't be saying if this person is a racist.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody had whistleblown that she's a racist, then I'd be like if people came for her boss, if her boss came forward and I said I think. Whatever her name is, I think Sue is a racist, then by all means, I guess, see if she's ever done any racist shit. But first of all, it's not illegal to be racist. It's not illegal to prefer white men over black men or to prefer hanging out with white people when you have dinner parties. It's not illegal to do that. It's illegal to discriminate based on race at the workplace. She was never in a position of power to do any of those things. She was just a low-end just a state employee, and she got a promotion, and she started looking at paperwork, and she's like, "Holy shit!"
No. Like, okay, I again, when I say investigation, I don't necessarily mean like an official investigation from the police or something that she's doing something illegal.
Obviously by HR or whatever. I mean, we have a lot of resources at the state level.
Yeah.
Well, far fewer now that these fraudsters have fleeced the people of Minnesota. But it's like, I guess this is the most. I honestly, I'll be totally honest about this. This Minnesota fraud case I thought was a little stupid until now. I thought it was a little dumb because so many places during COVID there was fraud. There was rampant fraud and abuse. And I didn't think Minnesota was any different from California or Texas or any of the other states that took a bunch of money and a lot of it went missing. But now it seems Minnesota... Well, a lot of money went missing during COVID because of, I blame Donald Trump, but you could blame whoever you want. Doesn't matter. Water under the bridge. There was a lot of money flying around. A lot of people stole a lot of money. The Lakers stole a lot of money. And a lot of people got caught and a lot of people had to give the money back. But it seems that in this case, there isn't just fraud. There's rampant corruption at the highest levels. And the way they are keeping the fraud and abuse and the corruption going is by saying that anybody who says anything about what we're doing, that's a racist, and you're going to be moved to the equivalent of a desk in Siberia.
But that's obviously wrong, right? Like I'm not saying like this is insane to draw
Yeah,
the
it's
conclusion that if somebody like you can't like it's wrong to assume that if you say somebody's a racist, you no longer get investigated. That's clearly a big issue. But it's also wrong to say that if I say I'm a racist, nobody will take me serious. If I say that they're a racist, nobody will take me serious, right? Like both are problematic. And I'll give you this. If I come to you with allegations that you're being corrupt and you're saying, well, you're only doing this because you're racist,
yeah,
obviously I should
listen
be
to
the
what you're
one
saying.
with the upper hand because I'm the one bringing the allegations. And obviously you're going to play the race card because you're defending
Yeah, but
yourself, right?
funny,
Like we have
but
to use some
Chip,
form of
listen to what.
intelligence.
But you're inserting something you're inserting a non sequitur, because the
Which non sequitur means?
the non sequitur is that it's also wrong to accept that everyone that if someone's racist, you should investigate that. You should investigate that. That's fine, and we should take those allegations seriously. Well,
Yeah.
that was the case. They did take that allegation seriously. In fact, that allegation was taken so seriously that the fraud, abuse, and corruption was allowed to continue. It was taken so seriously
But
that
that's
this
a
woman.
problem.
I know, but you're saying, well, it should also be taken. Well, it is being taken seriously. So
No,
why
no,
are
no,
we
no, 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 no,
only
no.
taking?
Because I'm
Why are
not.
we only taking allegations of racism
Okay,
seriously, but not
I'm failing to
allegations
get
of
it.
corruption?
How can two things not be investigated at the same time? Are there only two police officers in Minnesota? Are there only two people in Minnesota?
No, I don't know why but one, because I'll tell you why. Because they only take the racist allegation seriously and not the fraud allegation. That's why.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Both are extremely serious. And obviously, as I said, and I don't seem to hear it, when I turn you in for corruption and I have evidence and you play the race card, obviously somebody should be like, well, they're just playing the race card because they're being found for allegations.
Right. But
Right?
listen,
Like,
but the
like
premise.
we have to use some form of intelligence in all of this. We can't just be stupid about it.
But the proposition here is that we have taken racism so seriously for so long and so intensely that it is now more serious than corruption, fraud, abuse. It's taken so seriously. In fact, if you just whisper the word racism, the fraudsters are allowed to continue to do what they're doing. Corruption is allowed to continue because we're not going to investigate that. It's like a get out of jail free card. And is that
But
the
that
price?
doesn't make sense.
Is that the price of multiculturalism?
No, it's not, because the problem isn't multiculturalism. The problem is people being stupid, it seems like. The problem isn't the fact that there's multiple cultures. The problem is just the fact that people are stupid about it. Oh no, somebody said racist. All of a sudden you have to end all investigations. No, you don't end that investigation. You still continue the investigation. And if you really want to care so much about it, you also investigate a person. You also investigate a person that's being called a racist. That was my point. The point isn't, well, okay, well, let's ditch all multiculturalism. Let's ignore the fact that we can't ignore it when somebody's being called a racist, like especially when done in isolation. But if somebody's being called a racist after, I tell them, look, this person's clearly stealing from the company. Oh no, you're just saying that because I'm a racist. Ah, shit. Well, that's it. We got to stop investigating the stealing. We got to look into this racism thing. Obviously, that would be stupid.
Yeah,
right?
in fact, now that you were the whistleblower, all the bosses are going to get involved and call you a racist, transfer you to a different position,
Yeah, but
ruin
that's
your
stupid.
life.
That has nothing to do with multiculturalism. No, that's just a weaponized multiculturalism. Right? You can weaponize absolutely anything. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean
I guess that is kind of true. The idea that almost anything can be weaponized. But this weaponization hits different because of how many people. I can't hear you, but as soon as I could.
Just look the. Oh shit! Sorry.
No, you're coming in all weird, man. I'm sorry. If you put something in the private chat, I'll be happy to relay it, though. But you're right. I guess, Chip, you're right. It's not, but this has been with us for a long time, right? It used to be Italians, if they were in positions of power, they'd immediately be called mafiosos. That was common, man. If you met they had to fight against that. They were immediately called.
Yeah.
these names, and if they became places of power, they would say, "Oh," and even and then the gangsters, the ones who were actually gangsters, they would say things like and it happened when they prosecuted actual mafiosos in Las Vegas, for example. They said, "Oh, you're only doing this because I'm Italian. You are attacking the Italian community." That's what they would say.
Yeah.
So now Somalis are here, and some of them are gangsters, like every other group. Some of them are gangsters.
Yeah.
Or pirates. I mean, they like to call them pirates because the movies.
Yeah.
So I guess now, and they're saying, "Oh, you're calling us pirates. That's racism." Well, some of them are piratey, because like any group, some of them are pirates. But then the real pirates, the actual ones doing it, they say, "Oh, you're being racist. You're calling me a pirate because I'm black or because I'm Somali descent."
No, yeah, obviously it's wrong to make that claim, but I guess I think we go reach the middle ground. It's.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. I just it does hit different for reasons that I find difficult to explain. Steve says, "Look at the cost in brain power this requires to sort out. The average individual wouldn't be able to get this conclusion. They would just internalize this as racism." Yeah, I mean, the average person would, but
the average person sees. I speak to average people every day on the street. Average people are pretty stupid.
They are.
I don't think we should make rules I don't think we should make rules based on the understanding of the average people for those rules, right? Like, if I make rules, they don't have to be understandable by the average people. That's not the goal, right? The rules, the goal of the rules is to make society function best. Sometimes, maybe sometimes they need to be understandable in order for societies to work best, but it's not a given that all rules have to work that way.
She reported about Tim Walz's administration punished her for exposing fraud within the Department of Human Services. Faye Bernstein.
I felt bad for her. I felt really bad for her that she was called that way.
She worked there for 20 years.
Yeah, it's really bad.
She raised concern 7 years ago. This is before COVID. Only to be it's during COVID. Only to be slandered and falsely accused of racism.
It's really unfair. Like, don't get me wrong. It's really unfair. It's unfair when we use these things that are, again, it's unfair when we weaponize these things that are supposed to lift people up. We weaponize them instead and put others down. Like, it's really unfair, but that doesn't mean that the tools that we use to lift people up should be dismissed, right? Like, it just means we need to be more intelligent about it.
Not only more intelligent, but I think we need to. God damn it! You know what? It hits so close to home because of how many times I've seen whistleblowers go down, famous whistleblowers, little petty whistleblowers, and I want more whistleblowers, not fewer. And it seems like people are just okay with destroying these people's lives. They came forward, and they're called horrible names. They're jacketed as whatever. I don't even give a shit if she is racist. I don't give a fuck. She's turning in people who are stealing billions of dollars, and then you smear her.
Well, I don't think one justifies the other, right? Like,
it's not about justification. It's that if she was racist in 20 years, it would have been a problem earlier. If she had the same job for 20 years and she was a racist, it would have come up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Sky, this reminds me of the Gary Yourofsky thing. Remember that? The conversation between Gary Yourofsky and Catherine Klein, and how Catherine Klein showed just how ridiculous some statements of Gary Yourofsky are. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Gary Yourofsky is a fucking amazing activist, and I'm like, he does an amazing job for the animals and everything, but
blah 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 blah.
But like, some of his statements were really bad in that thing. So what should we just dismiss them because he's an amazing activist? No, that's moral licensing, and we shouldn't just go along with moral licensing, right? That's what I'm trying to explain that.
I don't think this is moral licensing. It's that I don't think that whistleblowers should be investigated unless it is proven that they've brought a false claim.
I completely agree with you, actually, Sky. That's an excellent point. Whistleblowers, that's a very good point. Whistleblowers shouldn't just be accused unless they're brought like some pretty substantial forms of evidence against them. Because you are 100% right. Whistleblowers are put in a vulnerable position. So I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really my point, is that whistleblowers need greater protections. They shouldn't be immediately like, it's just so easy to be like, it's because of X, Y, and Z, and then they go and investigate the whistleblower, and then we get into the situation we're in right now. And it seems to be because it was something that our culture is very, very sensitive about. Our culture, no matter what anybody wants to, our culture is sensitive about race. And for all the reasons, right? But just because we're culturally sensitive about race doesn't mean we should investigate the whistleblower before we do a deep dive on what the fuck this person's bringing to the table. You come with spreadsheets and receipts, and someone just says the R word, and all of a sudden, like, that's crazy to me. And that's why I think this thing in Minnesota is such a big fucking deal now. Maybe I was sleeping on it. I'm sorry, everybody. I was sleeping on it a little bit. Maybe I was wrong. I was thinking
this can also be weaponized, Kai, what you're saying, can't it? Like, literally, somebody
Hello?
can actually be... Can you hear me?
Are you talking?
Hello?
I'm sorry. I lost you for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was saying that... Can you hear me now, by the way?
Yeah. I accidentally hit a button on my mic.
Okay. So this can also be... What you're saying can also be weaponized, right? Like, you can easily think of a situation when somebody can be sexist at their job and maybe be in a higher position of power where they know secrets and stuff. And the minute that somebody calls them a sexist, they can become a whistleblower and then get away with it, right? So it like all of these can be weaponized, right? So you can weaponize it also on this side.
That's a really interesting sci-fi scenario. I really like the idea that someone could get out of jail if they become a whistleblower. In fact, we see that all the time. People turn state's evidence and they get lighter sentences because they turn in a bigger fish, right? And that does happen in criminal cases, but I don't think like your random sexists. Random sexists are so fucking cowardly. So are racists. They're so cowardly. This idea that they're going to be called a racist and then they're going to be able to turn in somebody for doing something bad and somehow get off in the eyes of the corporation or the HR department. I don't see that happening. I know what you're saying, but that's so far-fetched in like the corporate America or just like the bureaucratic the state offices.
It's not that far-fetched because if first of all, you barely get women in high positions of power. You can understand that, right? Yeah. So if a woman does get in a high position of power, you just know that she is going to go through some forms of harassment, right? Like it's just bound to happen, especially in
I
these
think a lot of those are
power.
Microaggressions and stuff.
Microaggressions, sure. Yeah. But even microaggressions repeatedly, they become fucking aggressive.
But we all have to deal with them, right? I feel like this focus on microaggressions is a little bit too that's a little much, I feel like life is hard, folks. Get a fucking job. It's going to be rough. It sucks. I've had to deal with shit. I've had to deal with so much shit in my life for all sorts of reasons at work. So
yeah, but if this person this doesn't work for my argument. I'm sorry. I was trying to say, well, if this woman is being a sexist, no, but it generally doesn't happen that way, right?
Yeah, so it generally doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
I think the only time what happens in your hypothetical is like the criminal justice system, right? You catch a guy, he's a bad dude, he might even be a murderer, but you give him 6 months in jail because he turned in a guy who he snitched on a guy who did. But that's not a whistleblower either. I guess that's the other thing, Chip, is that's not a whistleblower. That's a person who is he's a snitch. Whistleblower is someone who comes from their own volition after discovering something unkosher.
I figured it out. So imagine this, right? In this situation, this woman gets into power. They suffered a lot of unchecked aggressions, mini aggressions or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And all of these people in power, you know how it is in big corporations. They engage in forms of, what do you call it? Yeah.
She's quoting Big Lebowski though. This aggression will not stand, man.
Yeah.
Unchecked aggression will not stand, man.
So
Oh, see, it's not me. I thought it was me.
all these,
It's
that's funny.
you.
You know how all these big corporations, they do some form of, is it, can you hear me?
I can hear you again. Yeah, you dropped out for a second,
Yeah,
but it
sorry.
wasn't me that time for sure.
Oh, okay. Maybe whenever I touch my headphones, something happens, so I won't touch them anymore. But yeah, so what happens is in these big corporations, they always, when they're at the head of the, like, imagine this woman gets promoted, gets to the top, and she suffers this microaggressions week over week, and after a month of being there, she's like, I'm done.
Okay.
She says something about it. Well, another man from that group says, well, everyone, you see, they've been doing this corruption. And even though this person has been doing microaggressions and has been a sexist, he's going to get away with it because, he's just been turning everyone in, although maybe he's also was part of it. You see what I mean? Like, it can happen that a situation like that where somebody becomes a whistleblower, it can be weaponized also. That's
I suppose, but that's to me is
my whole point, I guess.
That to me is not something I think we need to worry about. We need to right now. Whistleblowers are ground to dust when they turn in the powerful, and the powerful are holding all the cards. And now there's another card. There's another card up there at the top, and
But
apparently it's a race card.
I get what you mean. It's just that, like, you see, even in your chat, men have to worry about. Wait. This guy was saying a misogynistic thing.
Oh, men have to worry about defense and security, but
But
women
man.
are easily seduced, and the males who are easily seduced are just as dangerous. A man needs to be able to stand up to a prowling lion. That's a prowling lion. I don't think men need to be standing up to prowling lions. That's why we build walls. That's why men build walls and fences, so we don't have to stand up to prowling lions. You don't stand a chance against a prowling lion. That's why we
Dude, you've
build
got a lot of-
walls.
You got a lot
Chip, you're falling out.
of misogynists in your chat. Like, it's also Mr. Good Citizen. It's not in men's nature to follow the lead of a woman. Yeah, like you see
Yes,
these
it is.
people.
All sorts of cultures and
these.
all sorts of Latino cultures.
Yeah, but
have,
I'm just.
that's weird.
Yeah, like, aren't these people the position? Like, they're men. They're in positions of power, right? So whenever a woman would speak up against them, wouldn't they be the underdogs?
Yeah, I don't know. This appeal to nature always seems a little ridiculous to me anyway. There's plenty of examples of matriarchal cultures all over the world throughout history. I mean, there's even in Western Europe, we have Boudica and other kind of Roman leaders that were women who led Joan of Arc, who led huge armies, and men happily followed them. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Men don't follow women. Yes, they do. I've had female bosses who were great leaders, and I've had male bosses who were the worst leaders. I mean, I've had shitty female bosses. I've had great female bosses. I've had great male bosses. I've had shitty male bosses. It's just so dumb to like, men can't, it's not in their nature to follow. It's just so stupid. It's so foolish. Look at Queen Elizabeth in England. You're going to tell me it wasn't in England's nature to follow a woman? Queen Victoria, like some of the greatest leaders in English history, the greatest leaders in French history, the greatest leaders in German history were women. It's just foolish. Yeah. Just like, it's nature, though. That ain't nature.
Yeah.
It's completely within your nature to follow a good leader who has a just cause. I mean, even Machiavelli wrote about this, right? If you have a just cause, then you don't need, you barely need to lead. If your cause is just, and you're reliable and you show up on time, you can usually do great things. If you are, if you have the political and social capital, that's how that works.
Sky, you keep freezing, by the way, and I think it might be you because the text moves on from your
I'm
back.
freezing? My face is freezing?
You're from time to time your face on audio. Yeah.
My audio as well?
Yeah. That's how it was just moments ago. And the text behind you was moving, so I assume.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying. I've been
No,
messing with
I've
the
been messing with the
parameters of the live streaming. Oh no, Navia says it's you.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But it could have been me. I've been messing so much with because with this game streaming, man, it's like I have learned so much about frame rates and display ratios in the last 24 hours. I've spent so much time. People don't realize that, like, they think, like, today I'll be streaming for 7 hours, and they think, like, that's all I do today. But no, I've worked for another 2 hours on this, right? 4 hours. So I'm going to work 11 hours on this channel today. Fuck me.
Get a job.
But I did, yeah, get a job. I did go to the gym for 30 minutes though today because I'm back in the saddle, Chip. I'm going out. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna start working out heavy. But I'm gonna start running a lot. I want to lose 40 pounds. Chip's my example. Chip's my...
Amazing. Sky, I'm gonna drop because it's clear that my internet is being a dick.
Your internet is dropping out. Yeah, sorry. That sucks because I like talking to you, but yeah.
Yeah, so don't be misogynistic, people in Sky's chat. And Sky, we always get to a middle ground. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, maybe we could talk more about something race related in the. It seems to get people riled up. Maybe we should talk about something race related on Sunday. If anybody likes Chip in my conversation, we do bat at the fences and talk about deep philosophical shit on Sundays for the Ethical Underground. Please tune in on Sundays. We do an extra stream on that day. Thanks, Chip.
See you later, alligator.
I'll see you soon, raccoon. All right, there you go. Racist Sundays. Yes, we should call it, I don't know, something race related. But I do actually understand where the initial response to seeing a video like that would make you defensive and make you think like, oh great, I got to worry about that now too. It's already hard enough to speak up and do the right thing. And now I got to worry about this too. I understand that. How to defeat racism in America. Indeed. Dracula's way more interesting than that. Dracula. Have you heard, I wonder if Chip has heard the new song by Tame Impala. It's been on the radio a lot here called Dracula. I'm running from the sun like Dracula. I wanted to play it on guitar, but it feels like I don't have that voice for that. Tame Impala's always got those high-pitched voices. Dracula. Yeah. Chip doesn't eat salads. Chip eats 4,000 calories a day. May 123J. Chip does not eat just salads. He eats 4,000. I haven't eaten today. But Chip, he has probably already eaten 2,000, 3,000 calories. 5,000 you eat a day? That's insane. Maybe we should just talk about whether or not Chip is ethical by eating 5,000 calories a day when people are starving. There are people starving, and Chip is eating 5,000 calories a day. Also, is it ethical for Chip to eat 5,000 calories a day when plants have to be harvested? And for every square acre of harvesting, animals die? Huh? Is it ethical? 5,000, yeah, it's insane. There's pitfalls around multiculturalism, says... there's pitfalls around everything. Sometimes there's pitfalls around doing the right thing and being accepting, I suppose. There's pitfalls to loving. Shit, there's pitfalls for falling in love. Falling in love is filled with pitfalls, but I'm still going to do it. Yeah, I think there's far more pitfalls to excluding people based on race or gender than there are for accepting race and gender. If you're looking at the cosmic spreadsheet, there are far more pitfalls and cons to judging and excluding people based on race, gender, whatever, than accepting them. Far more. This is a call-in show. It's morningsky.live/PYB to call and join the channel. Check it out. Call up and join up. You just call in and see what you got going on. It's always fun to talk to everybody. We've got some menu items there, but you needn't stick to them. I don't know why other call-in shows make it so serious. Oh, you're only allowed to talk about these things or I'm going to hang up on you. How boring. We do have a menu here. But you could also BYOB, bring your own battle, but it doesn't even have to be a battle. It could be a conversation. I appreciate the Hegelian dialectic where we both come out earning and learning. But this is the menu. How is taxation theft? A libertarian right says that taxation is theft. But if taxation is a form of coercive extraction, does justice come from how we collect it or from how we spend it? How does greed destroy democracy? The poor vote for whoever throws them the most crumbs. The rich use greed to buy the policy that protects everything else. That's not a flaw in democracy. It's the operating system of the democracy under capitalism. Why are you okay with the wars? Why are you okay with the wars? BOYBB. Bring your own BB. Bring your own BBs. Bring your own BBs. Then don't be sad there's no money for your silly bullshit when we're not allowed to cut out scammers because they are brown and you're white. Well, I'm not saying that you can't out scammers because they're brown and you're white, but every time a whistleblower, look what happened to it's so funny that you say that because the Boeing whistleblowers all ended up dead. This lady endured something horrible, but all the Boeing whistleblowers are dead. All of the Epstein whistleblowers, a lot of them are dead. I don't know. A lot of these guys end up dead when you do a whistleblow, when you blow that whistle. I feel like this whole thing, what happened to this poor lady in Minnesota, although it does, I hate the fact that this lady had to go through this shit. It seems like sort of par for the course, but it adds another wrinkle. I can't lie about that. It does add another wrinkle. But there's no money for your silly bullshit. What silly bullshit? I don't know what that's. You send me these things. I don't know what silly bullshit you're saying. Oh, you're ready? All right. You're on the air with Skyjack Morgan on Pick Your Battles.
Hey, Sky. Hey. All right. So whenever you create like a high trust thing within your society, right? These programs were built. They were built for whenever the country was more white, right? So you have a particular tribe in mind. And then when you bring in the multiculturalism, you don't, and you say that we're all the same and you believe that in your heart of hearts. What ends up happening is those bad actors from those outer tribes come in and they exploit the system. So, you want to say that they can come in, okay, but we're going to have to update our liberalism. We're going to have to update our frame to where we can account for all of the bad shit that bad actors are going to do when they get here, because they're inevitably going to die.
So America is a high trust society. You're right about that part. But here's the big problem. The trust is only amongst the people. The problem here is that the rich and powerful, where did they give the money? Where did they put the money? They gave it to businesses. They did it through the states. They dumped billions of dollars into this country, giving it to businesses instead of people, when they proved that they could have just as easily sent us all checks. They could have sent every American thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and it would have been better off than handing it to the corporations, which is what they did. And then it was doled out through the states, which is why you had multiple hands in the cookie jar, and tons of fraud all over the country. Minnesota's by no way, no one is saying that it only happened in Minnesota, right? It seems like the corruption was pretty sickening in Minnesota, maybe particularly sickening. Maybe it went on longer than other states because of shit that, people were able to divert, and I don't know. Maybe it was just so fucking corrupt. I don't know. Minnesota seems to have been a special case now. I feel like maybe I was wrong about what I said before about it just being everywhere and, it's nothing special. But the problem here is that the people who have the money gave it to people who have money, and there was people in the middle who stole. They could have just given it directly to the people. They could have done that. So it has nothing to do with multiculturalism at the end of the day. It just seems that they used a nice little...
Well, yeah, of course it does. They used... No. Yeah.
No,
That's
it wasn't
the cover
just...
story.
Dude, that's how some people got away with it a little bit longer, but that's by using it by weaponizing it. But that is not what happened here. People stole, and it wasn't just Somalis stealing.
Yeah, it was very sophisticated groups that saw the exploit of the system, and they got willing participants together. Of those,
whites were involved too.
Outsized. Yeah, of course.
If it were just like a little band of Somalis, I might agree with you. Maybe I don't know if I still might not. But
all right, well, it's still like half of it's Somali. That just shows that the Somalis are more inclined to exploit the system of the country where they are guests. Okay,
that's
they're
not
assholes.
true. That's first of all, they're not guests. These people have been here for now, like at least a generation.
You're guests, but okay,
they're not guests. They a lot of these people were born here. But at the same time, yeah, a lot of them were born here. They moved here back in the. I mean, we're talking back in the 90s. These people moved here. You tell me these people are all 60? These people aren't all. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. The corruption happened everywhere, Steve, but in it seems like the corruption was a little worse in Minnesota, and you're saying, well, that's because of multicultural. That's crazy. Do you understand that? It happened everywhere. Again, the LA Lakers. All these billionaires were on the take. The people that I knew who fessed up to stealing during COVID from the government they were all white. So it's not like this is something that was just in Minnesota, just in Somalia. It happened everywhere, almost probably all 50 states. But they seem to have gotten away with it a longer, and the corruption went a little higher, and they got away with it maybe because they were able to like hide the shit they were doing behind like racism claims and shit. But that doesn't make it a unique case. It might have been a little worse. I'll give you that.
Okay,
maybe.
Dude, what is your argument? Well, white people do it too. Okay,
No,
but
everyone. No,
fucking amazing. It's solved, guys. We got it. Wrap it up. We're done.
Your argument. Let me see if I get your argument right. Everyone was doing it, but you're only mad about the Somalis doing it, and therefore we need to abandon multiculturalism and pluralism.
We need to account for other people not having the same taste as we do.
But everybody was doing it. It was widespread. And it was mostly because of the mishandling of the funds
Yeah, but if it was just white people doing it, I could go in and say, hey, these white people over here, these poor white people are fucking this shit up. But you can't say that. Why? Because they're brown and you're a racist. That's the sticking point.
It seems like some of the whistleblowers, at least one that I know of now, were labeled racist in order to maintain cover for their crimes. Now, that does not have anything to do with me saying something's racist or that really has nothing to do with even it really has nothing to do with
it is a weakness inherent in multiculturalism. Goofballs, what we're trying to get at here.
People got away with it all over the place and it had nothing to do with multiculturalism.
Yeah, okay, everybody got away with it, but if it's white people, I can say something to white people. You're white, I can say something to you. I can't say anything to you because you're black. You're not of my tribe. You're going to cancel that out. Other people of your tribe are going to tribe together. They're going to do that little thing where, well, he's white and you're black, so therefore I'm going to stick with you on your side. That's exactly how it happens every fucking time. If that's what we're trying to avoid, then we need to update our frames to account for the pitfalls of multiculturalism. If we can't, then we're just going to have to keep paying out of the fucking nose infinitely for whenever black people want to exploit the trust of that system.
You see how weird it is that you're only focusing on this one case, but you're not seeing that overwhelmingly, it was just rich white people stealing shit. It's a white collar crime.
Well, I can throw the rich white person into a fucking prison cell, gladly do so, because he is somebody who I can criticize
I
freely.
get what you're saying. Let me. I see what you're saying. You're saying that they got away with it longer because it's easier to blame. You can point a finger at a white person and say, okay, that person's stealing, and everyone's like, white person accusing another white person of stealing. Let's investigate. But in the case in Minnesota, it seems, at least at some of the time, that a white person pointed a finger at a black person and said, you're stealing, and they said, oh, a white person is to blame because she must be racist for accusing a black person of stealing. That is a problem, and I'll admit that. That's a scary problem. I think that's a horrible thing. I don't think that's multiculturalism to blame. I think that's Midwestern stupidity more than anything. But it seems weird that you are overexcited about something that happened and somebody got away with it by fooling enough people for a short amount of time. They still got caught. They still are going to jail.
Oh God, right? I'm excited that my worldview was validated. Excuse me, Scott.
Holy shit! Your worldview is not validated. Your world, it really isn't.
Okay. No validation for me. Actually, this is a point for Sky. This is a point for multiculturalism and liberalism, guys. Rack it up. Put it on the board.
First of all, I'm not a liberal. Secondly, I don't think that it's a point for anyone. It might even be a point for you. I mean, it does put a wrinkle in the case in Minnesota that I hadn't really accounted for. And so I think that the Minnesota case needs to be looked at with a sterner eye. I think that we need to be looking at these things maybe. I thought the case was kind of being blown out of proportion because of, Donald Trump's hatred of Ilhan Omar. I mean, think of the shit that they say about her. And it's like, oh, she fucks her brother and all these things. So it makes me feel like you guys are crazy. And now we have a whistleblower that I feel for. I feel for that. I think she got fucked. So, yeah. Smoking Blondie, are you... Oh, Smoking Blondie's gone. Damn it. I thought Smoking Blondie was going to be on the show.
And then think about the whenever somebody's cheated, like a dog, whenever it gets cheated, it doesn't have the words to describe how it was cheated, but it knows it was cheated, right? So this is a sort of an emotional thing. Whenever people feel cheated like that, they internalize it, and that's kind of why we're seeing a lot of shit like we're seeing. Whenever somebody like you, like if you were a blatant political activist and you wanted to sit there and just do nothing but spin and cover for the Democrat Party, so that you hate, because you hate the country, you hate America, you want it to fall and be destroyed. If that was your objective, and there's people like that currently in power, if that was your objective and you just spun, you dismissed, and you sort of deflated or deflected away from whenever a white person had that baseline intellectual feeling of being cheated, that turns into me hating. Like that, if I was that person that got jilted like that, I would just internalize that as I'm going to go yell the N-word at you. That's why we're seeing a lot of the things that we're seeing. It's not that I hate black people. It's that I hate your sensibilities. I hate you. So I'm going to say the N-word around you. And I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like that's what we're seeing right now is this.
That's just trolling. But at the end of the day, it's still... It is not the fault of pluralism that some people who are caught red-handed in crimes will say whatever they can to get out of it. And that's all we're seeing. Now, it sucks that people, it's just the case of if you caught somebody doing something wrong, they said, hey, look over your shoulder, what's that? And you look, that's what happened. And you're like, well, it's because of multiculturalism. That think about you have a confirmation bias, dude. You have a confirmation bias.
It's not multiculturalism. It is your reaction to it. No, it is not yours because you're actually pretty decent on this. You're at least giving me a little bit of ground. You're like giving me 2%. I'm talking about blatant political activists in America that want to destroy it, that would look at this situation and spin it. Like a Hassan Piker or some other communist, right? It's our reaction to them. That's why we're becoming deranged as a society.
I think that there might be part of that, but I want to bring on another caller. But I will say that I'll say that what's good for the goose is good for the gander on that one. Hassan Piker and others who you call political activists are doing the same shit and engaged in the same kind of rhetoric as Donald fucking Trump, who is saying these things and blaming cultural wars and blaming cultural identities for nothing, for things, for just as scapegoats. And I guess, again, I could give you a little ground that this does put a wrinkle in this in what happened in Minnesota. And maybe it does kind of show a weakness in whatever system, whatever bullshit system they had for whistleblowers and investigation. But that is not an indictment of multiculturalism or pluralism. All right, I want to bring on another. I'm going to kick you off. Do you want to say something before I kick you off?
Yeah, I just wanted to make. No, I could probably bring this up another time. I just wanted to make sure, double sure that it's not directly an attack at multiculturalism. It's an attack on people like you. So it's you're the problem, not multiculturalism, because multiculturalism doesn't have a morality attached to it. You do, and you're the problem. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sending the video. Smoking Blondie, what do you say? Oh, hold on one second, Smoking Blondie. I got a donation. Thank you so much, Veg in the Woods. Recently read Eternal Treblinka. Great book. It is amazing. It's one of my favorites. Thank you so much for supporting independent media. Thank you so much for reading. What a wonderful book. I'd love to talk with you more about it, Veg in the Woods. Smoking Blondie, how you doing? Smoking Blondie, are you on the air? You're on the air.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Smoking Blondie, do you hear me? Smoking Blondie, you're smoking. Smoking Blondie. Smoking. We all have natural jobs. Those who don't do their natural jobs, the entire environment suffers with them. Interesting. Natural jobs. What's a natural job? I don't know what a natural job is. Let's see. The communist system requires way more resources to maintain than the shadow government. The communist system. There's communist system, a stateless society. Communism is a stateless society, a classless society. Smoking Blondie, are you a communist? Yeah, I mean, I guess Johnny Vegan Seed makes a good point. This is why you don't give Steve any ground. Well, I don't. I'd rather steelman things and have conversations than browbeat people. I know that Steve wants to have one size fit. He has a worldview and he tries to apply it to everything, and I don't. I think that I try to take people as they come. I try to take information as it comes. I try to think critically about these things. I try to question those who are providing that information. I try to question authority. All of those things. Some people, I think most people, will just get an idea in their head and everything will look like a nail. They have a hammer in the tool shed and they never collect any other tools, and so that everything looks like a nail. That's a problem. You see, I like having lots of tools in my tool shed. You'll see it. It's not just him, by the way. It's I think most people are guilty of this. You look at these effective altruists. They're like, oh, I'm a utilitarian. And then they're just, everything's a utilitarian problem from then on out. They read something about utilitarianism and then they stopped learning about philosophy. And that's all they do. They're a one-trick pony. I don't ever want to be a one-trick pony. I have the masculine urge to learn more than one trick. I have the masculine urge to learn many, many tricks. I want to do everything that's in the book, that Kama Sutra book. I want to do all of those tricks. Some people, they just learn missionary and that's all they do. Not me. I want to do all of it. I want to do everything. Man, I don't know how people, I think that's like people get into one position and they're like, that's the only position I want to do now. I only want to drink Coca-Cola from here on out. And your Diet Coke is the devil because Coca-Cola is the one true beverage. Coca-Cola is the one true beverage and everything else is the devil. Always freestyle, baby. That's it. I'm a freestyling. Freestyler. Straight from the top of my dome. Freestyling. I also don't. I don't understand people that are just willing to just be one trick pony. It's just so boring. Life is so full of variety and incredible things. People, and you have this supercomputer in your head that your meat wagon carries around. Like your whole body was designed, this incredible thing you call a body, this beautiful, amazing thing. And what's it designed for? Just to carry around that supercomputer you got between your ears. Feed that supercomputer, give it lots of glucose, eat lots of apples, get a lot of caffeine. Get that thing cooking. Get it cooking. Coca-Cola is the one true beverage. The Christian God is the only God. There's only one God. It's the Christian God. That's all we know. Sky must know my ex-wife, only missionary. Yeah, I mean, shit. It's so funny. People, I was at the book club, and afterwards, a few of us went to go get a drink. And one of the older lady who was there. She's not old. She's older though. She's probably like 20 years older than me. And she says, where was the craziest place you ever had sex? And everyone had the most boring answers. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Y'all are not living up to your potential. Jesus. You have people willing to have sex with you, and the only place you ever did it, the craziest place, was a car. The craziest thing you ever did was doggy style? Like, what are you doing? The craziest thing I ever drank was a Coca-Cola. Fucking Mormons. All you Mormons. One time I had a Coca-Cola and I freaked out, man. But I won't drink coffee. It's too much. So when you have a hammer and everything looks like a nail, that's what happens. You end up you apply your worldview to everything. Because that's my one and only worldview. So somebody gave it to me once, and now I only have a hammer. It's crazy. It'd be like it's like you're playing a video game, and you only got one tool. No, you don't. You want to collect all the tools, right? When you're playing a video game and learn them all, and like that's the fun part of it. That's the fun part of a video game, is that you get all the little weapons and little clubs and little boomerangs and shit and little claws that do special shit. That's the fun part, right? If you're just doing one thing all the time, like everything is about race, how boring, man! How boring. How boring. You shame me so good, Schniz. Oh, yeah. Am I a weird man? You used to bang at work. Nice job. Do it. What else is the point of work? Yeah, man. Do it. Do it at work. Why not? Life is short. Why are you not? Do it. Life is so short. Do it in the library. Do it on your boss's desk. Do it everywhere. And then watch the world. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Skyjack Morgan, can we do brainstorm on what some natural jobs could be? They're jobs that we depend on for life support. What things could humans depend on for life support? Roads? Domiciles? Building? Plumbing? Plumbers? Is that a natural? Life support, is that what you mean? The car at work. There you go. There you go. You just use the best weapon. Yeah, but you don't want to just stick with eventually some games you upgrade, right? You get a better and better weapon, sure. Some games you're always getting a better weapon or you're augmenting a weapon. But most of the times there's lots of items. It's not just a weapon. It's not just one weapon usually in a game. You get there's a weapon and a helmet and like a shield. There's all sorts of shit. Different things, different skills. None of you guys ever did play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid? You're supposed to roll for skills, learn all sorts of shit. You learn how to do all sorts of things. But I feel like most people they just they learn they become an accountant, and then they don't want to do anything else with their lives. That's all they do. I'm an accountant now. That's all I am. No wonder people want to kill themselves. Jesus. No wonder. Life support or comfort support. I don't know. Humanity, luxury is relative, but luxury is absolutely part of the human condition. It could be a cave. It could be in a vacation, but luxury is absolutely part of the human condition. Absolutely. Entertainment. Absolutely. We can't live without human beings cannot live without entertainment. We can't live without stories. We can't live without some form of luxury. I know that's relative. Like maybe a hut, a clean hut might be a luxury to some people, and a fancy car might be luxury to somebody else. But and of course there's excess. But taking a vacation, not working for a day, taking a day off, it's a luxury. It's a luxury. Dude, don't touch your phone while you're working on a toilet. Consent is not implied just because you use government systems like consent to sex. Just like consent to sex isn't implied because someone taking you on a date. Yeah, I mean that's pretty true because I mean consent is not implied because I was born in the United States, right? It's implied. It's not implied, especially when the government doesn't hold up their end of the bargain. Supposedly, we're all born in the United States as part of the Constitution, including its protections, and we pay taxes and all the rest in order to keep that Constitution going. But the government doesn't care about the Constitution. It violates First Amendment rights all the time, Fifth Amendments, Fourth Amendments, now Third Amendment. I never really thought about the government violating the Third Amendment, but now there's cases at the Supreme Court about Third Amendment violations. Second Amendment's constantly violated. 13th, 14th, all the time. Are you done crying? I mean, I'm not crying. Do I seem crying to you? Is that what you take this for? Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. I'm not crying, baby doll. Don't you worry, baby. I ain't crying. I got a thick skin. I've been streaming a long time. Before this, I was in hospitality. I got a skin like a black rhino, son. You ain't gonna make me cry. You ain't gonna make me cry, baby doll. The only person's gonna make me cry is the woman I love. That's the only one who gets to make me cry. Oh, baby doll. My mama told me never let him see me cry. My mama told me never let him see me cry. I think my mama's the last woman that made me cry. Clean water and abundant food used to be, self-sustaining life support system. What are you talking about? You talking about are you starting an anarchist revolution? What are you doing? Nah, they never asked for my consent nor explained to me what I'm consenting to. No, they did not. They don't even give you civics classes these days, Mabias. It used to be they at least gave you that. Hey, you're in this now, and we're going to take your money for the rest of your life. And by the way, we're not even going to teach you what this government does behind your back. We're not even going to teach you about how it works. You're fucked. Sorry, Americans, you little worms. You little wormy Americans. MAGA stupidity is sad for sure. It is, Steffelson. You got me there. That's for damn sure. Yes. But don't you know this is a call-in show? You can always call in. It's morningsky.live/PYB. How is taxation theft? How does greed destroy democracy? Why are you okay with all these wars? And why do you blame brown people for white crimes? Bonus. How is veganism a cult? Veganism might be a cult. Is veganism a cult? I think veganism might be a cult. I think veganism might be a cult. I thought that maybe a vegan would want to call in and tell me why veganism isn't a cult, but turns out everyone agrees with it. Veganism is a cult. Everyone just agrees. Crazy to me. I thought somebody would disagree with that statement. Taxation without representation. Yeah, like in Washington, D.C., we have a lot of places that have taxation without representation. How about Puerto Rico? There's lots of places that have taxation with no representation. The U.S. Virgin Islands, taxation, no representation. They can caucus, but they can't vote. They have representatives that they send, but they can't vote. So like D.C., Guam, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, they send people to Congress, but they don't have a vote. Dang it. They don't get to vote. You disagree with there being such a thing as white crimes? Paris Kitty, call in. Let's talk about white crimes. There's absolutely something called a white crime. I think there's such a thing called a white crime. It's called wage theft. Wage theft, overwhelmingly committed by white people, by the management and ownership class. And then they're not even convicted of crimes. They get labor violations settled with fines, but they're almost never pursued. $50+ billion. Over $50 billion a year are stolen from the working man, the working class. $50 billion is the largest crime in America every year, and nobody goes to jail for it. That's a white crime. That's a real white crime, you know what I'm saying? Man. Crime is crime, regardless who commits it, though, right? But wage theft is the biggest theft category in America, and no one gets deported for it. Nobody gets prosecuted for it. No one gets incarcerated for it. So who are the real criminals? The rich. Skyjack was okay with the Russian-Ukraine war. I was? Call in. America is dying slowly. I was never okay with the Russian-Ukraine war, you crazy person. No, I wasn't. What are you talking about? I was doing a show when the war broke out. I did a video the moment it broke out. I did a video about it. What caused that war, do you think? What caused that war in Ukraine? How come no one ever asked, like, why are we at war? Why are the Russians and Ukrainians at war? How come they're fighting? Russia wants to invade. Why? They're crazy. Oh, so they're just entirely irrational? I mean, maybe Putin is crazy. I'll give you that. But you're telling me that it's just entirely irrational? Russia is invading Ukraine because he's crazy? It's fun. Call in. Taxation is theft and a crime unless you legalize it. Well, when the government does it, it's okay, right, Mabias? If it's theft, then can it be justified if you spend it properly? Just like if I steal medicine from Walmart for a dying child, is that justified? Theft is theft, right? Theft is theft. Is taxation only wrong because they use it to kill Iranian school children? Is that why it's wrong? Like if they were stealing, if they were stealing our money, but building schools and paying teachers enough and making sure every child is, given enough food to eat in America, would that be better? Would that be okay? Would theft be justified? Let's see here. Thrifting. Well, hold on. Printing money is theft and fraud. I mean, it is, but so is the. You know what? The fraud really is that money isn't worth anything. It's only worth stuff because the powerful say it is. Oof. It's not real. They just made it up. They just made that shit up so that to separate you from the means of production. They separate you from capital with liquid. That's what they do. That's why money exists, is so that you can't own capital. It's the tool of the rich to oppress you so that you're busy chasing around rectangular pieces of paper and little smashed discs, little metal discs and little rectangular pieces of paper. You do that your whole life while they rake in the real money and power. And it's not dollars and cents. It's control of the means of production. Licensing is a way of taxing your freedom. Oh, man, you're on a roll today, Mabias. Licensing, it's coercion. Why should I have to get licensed by anybody? Why can't I just practice what I want to do? And then the consumer can decide to do what would otherwise be illegal. Why do I have to do any of these things? Why can't I just do whatever I want? Why do I have the government breathing down my neck every day? Why are there any borders? Why are there any passports? Why does the government get to tell me where to go, who to marry, who to love, what to do? If I want to cut somebody's hair, how come I got to get a barber's certificate? Why can't I just go, can a bunch of me and my barber friends get together and we certify ourselves? That's how it used to be, you know. It used to be architects, for example, they made their own association so that they would get a stamp, and that stamp said that you were part of our club. Not the government. Us. We did it. And we volunteered. If you wanted to be an architect in this special club that people could trust because you got a little stamp, you voluntarily went. You took their tests. They just did it. They didn't force you to do it. You could build a house with a shitty architect that doesn't have that license, doesn't have that stamp. There's a lot of examples of great architects never getting the license, never getting it, because they're designers. They call them designers now. They're not allowed to call themselves architects, even though they went to architecture school. They do all the same jobs as architects, but because they refuse to get a license from the government, they can't practice. It used to be the same thing with the bar. It used to be anybody could take the bar. The bar associate. That's why it's called the bar association. It's not the government. It's the bar. And it used to be you didn't even have to go to law school. You could just learn law on your own and go and take the bar. Is that fucking crazy or what? People used to do that. A lot of people used to do that shit. They just passed the bar. Those days are over. We were born into a world where all that shit's over. Now the government reigns supreme. The corporations are the ones in charge of those organizations. You and all of your friends are left out in the cold. Your avenues to upward mobility have been blockaded. So what are you going to do? How hard could it be to take out an appendix? Yeah, I mean, medical school. Voluntary. Skywat's 100-year-old grandma's driving around. Well, actually, that is at least at the state level. I think that government gets worse and worse the bigger it gets. So I think that we send delegates to Washington, D.C., for example, and they forget that they represent the people back home, wherever you live. Do you think you have anything in common with the asshole you send from your state to Washington, D.C., who keeps that job for 50 fucking years? Do you think you have anything in common with your senator or your congressperson? But I do think you have more in common with your state legislature, the person you send to. You have a delegate you send to whatever the capital of your state is. Like here at Sacramento, right? We send a guy to Sacramento from my area, and I think I have more in common with him than the asshole that I sent to fucking Washington, D.C. And I can go see him. I can go talk to him if I want to. I can call him up. So when you say things like the DMV is the one who decides whether or not 100-year-old grandmas are driving around. And I'll tell you what, if a 100-year-old grandma in Minnesota, if a 100-year-old in Montana still has her wits about her to drive on those long straight roads they got up there, let her do it. Do I think a 100-year-old grandma who does not have her wits about her to drive in Los Angeles should be allowed? Of course not. But that's for us to decide, isn't it? Not the American, not the federals, the feds. Fuck the feds. What if she just thinks she does? Well, then you have to have again consent of the governed, right? So if you're in smaller government, in this case, we're already kind of set up that way. It's just that the executive branch has clawed so much power from the states. It's a little embarrassing now. But the states used to, we all have our own constitutions. We all used to have our own abilities to govern ourselves. But then the federal government said, well, you're not going to get money for your highways and stuff if you don't do what we say at your DMVs. Well, that's a problem, right? And so what if she doesn't think what if she just thinks she does? Well, that's not really her choice. It's the choice of us, right? And if she doesn't like that, she could go to a different she doesn't have to, like, if she thinks that, well, I can't drive in LA anymore, but I could still probably drive up in Montana where there's nobody to hurt. Like, what's the worst? You might hit a moose. But up into Montana, if you're in Montana, I don't care if you're drinking and driving. What the fuck do I care? Montana, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're not going to hurt anybody. If you're drinking and driving on the 405 in Southern California, you're going to kill families. You know what I mean? A 100-year-old grandma should have a chauffeur. Yeah, maybe that's true. Dementia patients think they have their wits. It's true. They do. They do think that. I don't know. My father, he was always like, he is always like making jokes about like, oh no, I know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. He always trying to pretend like they always try to, like, it's funny. I think that dementia patients know they're losing their marbles, and because they're always trying to cover it. They're always trying to and it's like, it's so sad. It's just like, they're like little kids trying to pretend like they didn't shit themselves. Consistency makes things bigger at the larger. Yeah, consistency always makes things easier, but consistency at the federal level is it's not one size fits all. Like, for example, when you go to church and Aunt Mabel made her famous blueberry pie, okay? She is not subject, when she brings the pie to sell at the bake sale at your church, she is not subject to the same standards of health department scrutiny, right? We're not going to send the guys with white gloves to test everything in Aunt Mabel's kitchen, okay? We're not going to do all that stuff because it's Aunt Mabel. She's just a lady selling her pie every year. It goes for a good price at the fucking church bake sale. We don't make everyone kind of yield to the iron hand of government, except when we do, right? We do take small people in small businesses and apply big business regulation on them. And when people say, oh, we're going to get rid of regulations, they do that because they know that the regulatory bodies, they want regulations to disappear for the big businesses, not for the little guys. The big businesses love that you're putting out of business the little guys through regulation. And so the powerful will say, well, okay, well, look at all these little businesses that went out because of regulation. We're going to get rid of the regulation, but they're not. They're going to get rid of the regulation for the big guys. That's what they do every time. Because one size fits all. Don't go to church, people. Yeah, don't go to church. Go to church if you like it, if it gets it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's easier to control people that way. Yeah, that's kind of the point, right? Yeah. It can't be one size fit. Damn good pie. But damn, she makes good pie. Sometimes you got to go to church for that good pie, Paris Kitty. And not all churches are created equal. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Church is disgusting. I mean, some churches are disgusting. Some churches are definitely disgusting. Are they all disgusting? I know I've met a lot of good people that go to good churches. I met a lot of good people that go to good churches. I've been to a lot of churches. I've been to a lot of churches. But I was never much of a believer. I never believed in the invisible stuff. I guess I'm a materialist. MAGA cultist. I went to one MAGA cultist. Well, that ain't good. That ain't good. Oh, yeah. JK says Paris Kitty. I got your pie. Oh, Paris Kitty. I bet you do. I bet you do got that kitty pie. You got that kitty pie, cutie pie. You got that kitty pie. Everybody needs to call me before they go driving on my road. I might be on them. Yeah, we all need to give you a call before we go on there. But again, it's about consent. It's about if you want to drive, you got to go and do the stuff that you need to do because we all consented to this. The DMV is not a great example of a horrible bureaucracy. I know it sucks, but it sucks worse in different states. It always kind of sucks, but it's not like the tyranny of the federal government coming and telling you that you have to get a transvaginal ultrasound or something. This video isn't about race. Well, I didn't think it was. I thought it was more about the plight of the whistleblower. Yeah, hold on, buddy. All right, well, this was the show. It's 5 minutes. Nobody wants to call in. I talked by myself for a while, and I love you. Freedom will always be illegal. Man, Mabias is feeling like a revolutionary. What got into you today, Mabias? Damn, son, Mabias is going crazy today, going rough. I love it. There are more things illegal than free. You're right about that, man. Let's start a revolution. Get your gun. Leave the cannoli and grab the gun. Damn it. Oh, well. I lost it. That's how I roll you. Yeah, get the gun. You don't believe in abortion? So you don't believe in abortion. You know what? I keep on telling people, stop starting sentences with the word so, because it makes you sound like an asshole, and I don't know what you mean. It's just, you sound like I'm not calling you an asshole. But when you say like, so you don't believe in abortion, that's how I read it. So you don't. It's just like you hear this shit online. Why not just ask a question? Do you believe in abortion, or what do you think about abortion? That would be good. But I don't know what you mean. You don't believe in abortion. What the fuck does that sentence mean? I don't know what that means because you're saying it like an asshole. Yeah, abortion is a belief. What is he talking about? So you think that moose? It'd be like, so you think that moose aren't worth saving? Is that why? So you think that, man, you hear this on these debate bro shows all the time. It's fucking extremely annoying because no one gets anywhere. What does that even mean? I don't know. Why don't you ask your question? Abortion's fun to talk about, man. Let's talk about it. You can come on. I'll tell you what, call in or ask your question in a way that I can understand it. So you don't believe in abortion? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Does anybody know what that means? So you don't believe in abortion? Can somebody please tell me what that means? What does that mean? What does this sentence mean? So you don't believe in abortion? And it's very common that you see this question, that you see people write stuff like that on the internet, or they talk like this. I think the world would be such a better place. I was getting on Chip's cases. He does that sometime when he does outreach, and people get really upset at him the second you start a sentence with so. Because as soon as you do, you are inferring something and then representing something that they might not have implied. That's what you're doing. As soon as you say, so, if you really want to, I mean, you could say, let me get this straight. Do you think this So let me get this straight. I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're presenting. Are you saying this? That would be a way to do it. But when you say, so you think that Paris is a beautiful city? How about, do you think Paris is beautiful? Done with your toilet already? I don't know. I thought this guy was going to say, so you're telling me what to say, Sky? That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. So you're telling me what to say? Yes, exactly. Paris is a beautiful kitty. And she always brings pie. You're my cherry pie. Man, I got to see Warrant. Man, a lot of times I've seen so many bands, but I saw a lot of their sound checks. I know that's weird to say, but I used to work in the industry, you know. So I haven't been to that many concerts, but I've seen a lot of bands, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? And one of them was Warrant, and their warm-up song, their sound check song was Cherry Pie. I thought that was so funny. Because what other song are they going to warm up to, right? What song is Warrant going to do their sound check to? She's my cherry pie. So Warrant, though. So Warrant. So deaf. So deaf. Say it again, Sky. Cut your nails and bring the butter. Cut your nails and get the butter. Paris is a beautiful city. Paris is a beautiful kitty. Cut your nails and get the butter. Get the pie. Get the pie. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I saw Warrant live, and they were great. So May 123 Jay, you're not even going to repeat. So you don't believe in abortion? All right. Hetty Solstice just gets in right when I'm signing off. Hetty Solstice, I love you, but it is about Hetty Solstice. Look at this. She's a channel member. She's a Sky City Rebel, and she's a moderator. She just rolled in. Break bread. And how she probably likes babies, too. What does that mean? God, this guy's doing crazy. We need more Sexy Jack. Maybe I need to Sky Max. I'm Sky Maxing. Maybe you'll get more Sexy Jack when I get my mojo back. I'm trying to get my mojo back. Eddie Solstice. I'm trying to get it back. It's gonna happen. All right. This is it. I'm almost at. You're making me moist. I've always had that effect. All right. Thank you so much for being here. That's the end of the show. We're going to do a live stream, and I lost my mojo, but it's coming back. I lost my mojo. I'm looking for it, though, Navi. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to start running again. I feel like my mojo is back when I run every day. I feel so good when I run, you know? I feel like my mind is clearer. My body is more in shape. Everything's better when I run every day. I've been trying to get up. I've been going to the gym and doing bicycling and little running, but I like running around the city, you know, running around the town. Yeah. Everett Tauscha. Well, man, nobody wanted to call in, so that's how it is. Sky, she's here to kick people off if they loiter after you sign off. Nice. Okay, well, I'm out of here. I was running. Mama said they were my magic shoes. Mama always said they was my magic shoes. I think that if I think real hard, I can remember my first pair of shoes. My name's Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. All right, Lieutenant Dan. I mean, look, even after just a week of running, I feel like my face is already looking more. 1 week. I've only been running from actually on a machine, because you got to do a machine run. You can't just go out on asphalt and pavement right away. You'll fucking kill your knees and your feet. So I've been on I do elliptical and the treadmill and then the bicycle thing, and I feel like my I'm already looking thinner, I'm saying. I think I look a little thinner already. I've only lost, I think, 5 pounds I've lost. 5 pounds. But I think I want to lose 40 pounds. Okay. Shouldn't you let me decide when the show is done? And they still call you Timu Musk. Yeah, but they're the ones. Musk is Timu Skyjack. I'm Skymaxing. All right. Thank you, everybody. I need more organ donors. I do. I need more donors. Thank you all for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. This has been a presentation of Pick Your Battle. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. We're going to do one more stream later on today in just a little bit. In about 2 hours, we're going to do one more stream. It's going to be called, what's it called? It's called Dark Sky. It's called Dark Sky Gaming. And we're going to do no more ASMR. We're going to game. I think I want to get Pragmata. I want to play Pragmata. I still have to play the other game that you guys got me. There's another game. I heard it's like a queer game or something, and I still want to play. I want to play Papers, Please too. So we're gonna play some games here at 5 p.m. Yeah, Musk has had a shitload. He's had a ton of, you call it plastic surgery. It's gender affirming care. Elon Musk has had a load of gender-affirming care. And so has Donald Trump. He wears makeup. That's gender-affirming care. PC, Hetty Soul says, we do PC only. No controller. I'm an anarchist. I don't like any controllers. I'm an anarchist and I hate controllers. But I have a new gaming PC. So we're going to play it. And it's going to be fun. Thank you so much. He's a Borg. Resistance is futile. Locutus. All right, thank you so much. I'm outie. Godspeed, rebels. I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully you'll show up to the gaming stream, Dark Sky. I'm going to set it up right now. Maybe we'll see each other then. I want to play Pragmata. What the hell, Bud? What is wrong with you, Bud Russell? Who hurt you, buddy? Bud Russell, who hurt you? Bud, do you want to call in? morningsky.live/PYB. I'll stick around for you, buddy, if you're hurting. You hurting? I'll stick around for you, bud. I was just about to hit end, and you said that. It's been 10 minutes. See you in a few hours. Awesome. No, sir or ma'am. Okay. No, Bud Russell, you ran away? Okay. Bud Russell ran away. I thought, I see things like this. And I really worry about people like this. They're having a bad life. They got a bad time. They woke up on the wrong side of the bed. They looked in the mirror. They didn't like what they saw. Somebody said something mean to him today. I feel so bad for this guy, Bud Russell. Because you'd think that I would take it personally, but I don't. I just see that, like, you're really hurting. You're really hurting. All right, thank you so much. Sky's Helpline. Yeah, just call it. We should just call it Sky Helpline. Maybe I should change the name from Pick Your Battles to Sky's Helpline. Should I call it that instead? Maybe I should just call it Sky's Helpline. Should I do that and stop trying to have debates? Because clearly my call-in show is not about debating. Clearly my show is not about debating. Maybe I should call it Sky's Helpline. or the Skyline. How about that? The Skyline? Huh? Pick Your Battles maybe wasn't Sky's Love Line. How about just the Skyline? I like that. Maybe I need to rebrand. Forget Pick Your Battles. We'll call it Skyline. I'll change the format on Monday. Instead of having 5 questions for battles, we'll just have Sky's thoughts of the day, and we'll call it Skyline. Come and talk about anything. That's a good one. I like it too, Veg in the Woods. I like it too. The Skyline. Hetty Solstice likes it too. I think that's what we should call it. I think you're right. Jen from Maine, you missed it all. I think we're going to change the name of the show to Skyline. And it's going to be a call-in show still, but like the old talk radio open lines. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like the talk radio open lines. Skyjack line? Oh, no. Everything's already, because I already have Morning Sky. I have Dark Sky Gaming. And I like it. I like the Skyline. That's kind of fun. On the Skyline. Plus, it's easier to say. I'll have to change it'll be morningsky.live/ call-in. It'll just be call-in. Skyline is good. I like it too, Everett Tauscha. Tauscha! All right, Skyping. Yes, Skype with me. All right, this is it. Maybe you just stop the call-in show. It sucks. You were such a coward. You didn't call in, May. It'd be great if you called in, May. See who hurt you, May. May, you've been here for 2 hours and you're still crying, May. Come on, May. What's the matter with you? Skydiving. Yeah, a lot of people like my call-in show. What do you mean? Sometimes I get like 5,000 people watching this call-in show. You know, I do it 5 days a week, so it's not every day is not created equal. But, you know, it does really well. Sky, how about doing drugs with Jack? No, I'm high on life. I'm high on life, and sky's the limit. I'm high on life, and sky's the limit, buddy boy. The zine is still in the works, but I want to do the zine right, and that means I got to do I got to raise money for the zine. There's no way to do it except for like doing a Kickstarter for the zine. But we could do it. Let's do this. Let's do the Kickstarter. I'll do a Kickstarter for it. Yeah, I'll work on it. Yeah, it's still going. Thank you for the donation, by the way. Thank you. Skyrim. It's funny. I thought about everyone. Man, this guy, Big Sherpa, he talks about Skyrim on his show all the time. But I've never played Skyrim, but I want to now because it's called Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Apparently, it's a very big game that people were very into. Maybe if they make a new one, I'll play it. I don't know. All right, that's it. This is for serious this time. Goodbye. You're amazing. Skyrimming. Yeah, that's my sexy move. I'll try it. I'll try anything once. You play that game, Jen from Maine? You play Skyrim? Is it MMORPG? Is Skyrim an MMORPG? Is Skyrim an MMORPG? It is not. It's a single-player open-world action RPG developed by Bethesda. Okay. Best game ever, Holst. Wow. People are saying that about Crimson Desert, though. I want to play Pragmata. I really want to play it. I think we're going to do that. Okay. We'll talk more about gaming in the next thing, on the next stream, okay? Yeah, they're making a movie of it. They are. Yeah. But I wonder if it's going to be any good. Like, man, do you trust them to make a movie about an open world game? Whatever. I don't know, dude. How much hard drive space do you have? Like terabytes? I don't know. A lot? A ton? A ton? Yeah, they're making a movie. How much hard drive space? A ton. It's a brand new machine. Yeah, how are they going to make a movie out of it? Good question. I'm telling you, it's probably going to be a CGI fuckfest. But everyone I hear about this Skyrim, a game I have not played, but everyone who talks about it is saying that, like, how can they get like the feel of it? that it's got to be about the feel of it, and I don't know how they could possibly. All right, we're going to talk more about games in an hour and a half, and I'm going to start a show at 5. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.